Hello, everyone. This is Mel here from Sneakers Corner. I'm waiting on Murad. He had a technical problem. He'll join us shortly. Hello to Lloyd. Hello to XYZ, our excellent moderator. Sergeant Grinch, or is that how you pronounce it? Is indeed how you pronounce it. Theodore, Dragon, and anyone else. If I've missed you, apologies. So hello to you all. I see Murad is back. Murad, how's it going? I don't know if Murad, if you're able to talk yet. I'll wait on a message. I will continue with the live stream until you're able to talk with us. Did many of you see the live stream last night on Al-Fadi's channel and on Fander Films? I thought it was pretty good, if I do say so myself. It was great to get everyone together. I think it was the first time that everyone was in the one room. Hello to Chloe Waked. I see, Chloe, you've seen it, yeah. And Marek also saw it. Lloyd, I did hope that you were going to be on. I think, I don't know if someone in the team didn't send you an email, but I was hoping to have you on. You might have received an email from me to that effect. So apologies. It wasn't a snub or anything like that. It might be just simply that there was an oversight there. I think you'll be definitely will be on at the next one. So apologies. Hello to Nathan. And anyone else I'm missing? So no email. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we talked you up last night, as you probably noticed. So in January, I believe you're going to be talking with Jay, and so that's an extra member of the Sen Sifters. It's going to be great. Once we get all this material out together, it's going to be a hell of a team. Really excited about it. I don't know if other people feel the same, but I feel so humbled to be surrounded with such experts. You know, I definitely feel that I'm not worthy to be in the group. You may be surprised to hear this from me, but no. In all honesty, the level of research that each of the members are doing is just incredible. And every time I meet Jay, he's like a cat with milk. So I don't know what the situation with Murad. I don't know if he has a problem his end. I'm sure he will message me as soon as he can. I'm just waiting to hear back from him. So Murad, if you hear me, if you could send me a private chat message just to let me know what's the story. I don't know if maybe someone has shown up at your house and you can't talk or something. But just I suppose while I'm waiting on Murad, just give you a little bit of background. There was an invitation given to me by Al-Fadi a few weeks ago. Said, would you be available on the 20th? And I said, sure. And he said, Jay is going to be in the studio with me. And well, thank you, Lloyd. It's very kind of you to say I'm a de facto leader of the movement, but I don't know. I think I kind of see Jay as that. But anyway, quite happy to do my part anyway, even if it's a small part. But I got an invitation from Al-Fadi a few weeks ago, and he said, keep the 20th free. And I said, sure, no problem. And at that stage, I just thought it was going to be the three of us. And then Al-Fadi asked, is there any chance you could get in touch with Odin and Paul on his behalf? So put the word out to them. And of course, they were delighted to be included. And Paul had a bit of a head cold, as you could probably tell. So he bore up well, considering he wasn't feeling the best. But I thought he did a brilliant job. I'm really to back up what Theodore said. I'm I, including everyone else, is really eager to see your appearance on Jay's channel. I think you're going to bring so much to that. It's going to be great to get your material out to the wider public. I think what you have to offer, particularly, you've got so much to offer, but I think in terms of the Sira, I haven't even heard the full story on that one. The fact that there's more than one Sira is the big thing that a lot of people don't know about it. It's going to be, I think, the parallel to the fact that there's multiple Qurans. The idea that there's multiple Siras is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be the story of 2022. Actually, I'm surprised it isn't making waves already. So still waiting on Murad. I don't know what's happened there. I'll just wait patiently. Hopefully he can join us shortly. So what was I going to say? Oh, I think we have him now. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, we're live on air. Please don't swear.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened. The mic is just damaged or something. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah. I see Sergeant Grinch says, I'm blown away after each session every time I watch Lloyd's channel. We're just talking about Lloyd there. Someone says, what is a Sirah? It's the biography of Muhammad, ABJ. And Lloyd has mentioned that. But really a Gospel of Mo. Motown. It should be the alternative name for Mecca, I think. Which kind of leads us nicely into what we're going to be talking about in a minute or so. So how are you, Murad? How was your first appearance on Al Fadi's channel last night?
Well, I was very nervous. I don't know why, but when I saw the studio and a lot of people and stuff,
Yeah,
I felt like I just felt nervous.
Oh yeah, same here. I think probably all of us felt a certain level of nervousness. I see Theodore says, I think you should include Joe from Red Judaism the next conversation in Al Fadi's channel, if possible. Just to clarify, I had no part in that. He's not excluded, as far as I'm concerned. All water under the bridge from my side is totally down to him, if he wants to be included or not. So I'm not blocking in any way, shape, or form on that score. I think probably the numbers were decided just on the realism of how many can talk in that length of time. But I'm sure he'd probably be invited next time round. Lloyd says, congratulations you both for an excellent showing last night. No nerves seen. Well, that's good. There was a few moments where I was thinking, oh God, did you get nervous when he said, I'm going to ask you about this in a few minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I say?
Yeah, that's the thing. So, and I'm not always confident if I have the correct words in my mind.
Yeah.
So this adds another level of fear.
Absolutely. It was literally, people may not realize how close to the wire it was before we actually knew what we were doing. So
Exactly.
I think it was like 6:57. This is no word of a lie. 6:57. Al Fadi was basically outlining what's going to happen, and I'm like, oh God, that's how close the wire. We literally didn't know if each of us were having 10 minutes, 5 minutes, who's going to talk first. We just literally, people sort of said, what about if we do it this way? And it all fell into place. Theodore says, I didn't mean that, Mel. I agree with you. Al had many people yesterday. Oh no, I didn't. Hopefully, I didn't. I didn't mean to suggest that you were suggesting anything. Sorry, I know there's an obvious backstory with Red Judaism, but I haven't been in any way blocking him or that. I think I noticed in the chat there was a question of who came up with the term SIN, Standard Islamic Narrative. I think the first time I publicly used it was back in 22nd of December 2020. And I don't know if Standard Islamic Narrative was used prior to that, but Red Judaism said it was his term. He came up with that. I don't know if I came up with the abbreviation. Maybe, I don't know. But in any case, if I think he's pretty certain it was him. I never claimed it as something I came up with. Just wanted to put that out there, just in case that it came across funny. Right. So, any further thoughts, Murad, on last night?
No, I just wanted to tell the people why I made this urgent live stream, if you like.
Yep. Okay.
So last night, today actually, a few hours ago, I watched your video in the hollow of the strike.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. And there is something that I knew just looking at the Exodus.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to do with it. And
Right.
these are these two maps that I sent you. And if you like, you can just put any one of them now.
Yeah. Maybe because I'm let me just, sorry a second. Let me just upload this here. It might be worthwhile to, but you know what,
if it's not opening, I can tell you what it has.
I'll tell you, do you know what? It's just that they've changed some features here, but it's okay. I've got it now.
Okay.
I was going to say, it might be good for the sake of people who haven't seen the video today, maybe to just do a quick review before we see the pictures, or would you like to go straight into the pictures first? What do you think?
Okay, you can just say in 1 minute what the video is talking about, then I will show you the picture.
Yeah, okay. So it was in relation to this ayah 48:24, and it says, the translation is, and he is the one who restrained their hands from you and your hands from them in the valley of Makkah after he had let you prevail over them. And so this idea of being two sides, one being kept apart from the other, I looked into that. I knew that the word Makkah had the meaning of, some suggested hollow and others strike and things like that. So let me just, sorry, this is going to be, so in the verse before, it is God's pattern ongoing since the past. You will never find any change in God's pattern. So I thought, well, maybe this verse is actually meant to be an example of the idea that God has a way of doing things. And so I thought, well, when did God keep someone's enemies apart from the person or the group? And I was thinking of the Exodus and the splitting of the Red Sea and how the Pharaoh got killed with his soldiers, all that kind of stuff. And I thought that would be an interesting link, but it didn't seem obvious. So literally, I looked up this verse 12:13. Okay, I don't know how this happened. It's really weird. I looked it up and I noticed these two words, plague and strike, and I wondered if there was any link between them, whether there's a play in words. Okay, and so it didn't seem like there was when I saw them there. So if you use the Hebrew words, as you can see, they're both highlighted. Didn't seem there was an obvious link between the two words. Okay, and then I went further and I discovered that the plague in Hebrew is Makkah, so that's one link. And then in terms of the other one, strike, let me just see, which is the second one in that quotation, also has the term Makkah. So there seems to be a play on the word if you use alternative words for those. Okay. No destructive plague will touch you when I strike Egypt. But both of those words, if you use alternative Hebrew words, suggest the word Makkah, and not or Mocha. Okay, and so then I looked at this phrase in the hollow, and I was thinking in the hollow of the strike would be the kind of one way of interpreting it, and then I was thinking of Moses striking his rod against the ground and the sea parting, and so therefore it was about the value of the strike is to do with an example of how God restrained their hands, whose hands? The Egyptians' hands, from the Jewish people. And so this preacher is talking to his audience, presumably some sort of Judeo-Christian audience, and he's basically saying, this is a pattern that comes from olden times, Unfortunately, the context has been lost, and so it's oblique now, but it probably wasn't oblique originally. So I think that is pretty much it. I'm going to go to straight to the map. So here's the first map that you sent me.
Yes. Now I am using the phone, so it's very small, but no problem. What you see here is the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Can you read exactly what's written in the Red Sea?
Yeah, it says Mar de Mecca et Bohars Corson.
So you see this, it's a medieval map in the one in 1625, one in 1650, and it calls the Red Sea the Sea of Mecca.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So this is the first one. Now you can look at the other one. They both have it, the Sea of Mecca.
Yes, I see that. It's the Sea of Mecca. Wow.
Now remember that the word Mecca in Arabic, it's a little bit too Arabized. You have to get it back to a more Aramaic form. So it will be Makaka. Makak.
Yeah.
Now the word Makak, it only means a low ground place, like I told you before.
Yes.
So if the sea split, then you are standing in a low ground place with the sea on both sides.
Yes.
This could be the very first time you see the word Mecca. Then they name somewhere in Syria Mecca, somewhere in Iraq Mecca. Then the last one, Mecca in Saudi Arabia, because it's very low ground, and maybe they chose it because it has some water or something. But this could be the very beginning of the word.
And the fact is, Mecca is close to the Red Sea. Maybe it might be possible that some of them thought that Moses crossed at that point, you think? Or maybe were they planning to transpose it down to suggest that?
It is possible that they chose it knowing that it is close to the Sea of Mecca.
Yeah.
Now, just the idea that this sea was called Mecca, this ancient, is very new and it's very revealing.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. So now if the Quran is saying ببطن Mecca, the word ببطن, it means in the stomach, in the belly.
Yeah.
So in the hollow ground, in the low ground belly of this Red Sea.
And actually,
this would give it a very different interpretation and a much rounded interpretation.
Yes. But actually, even in the belly, it's reminiscent of in the whale of Jonah's whale. What do you call it?
Yes, Jonah's fish.
I'm saying it right. Like the whale that that swallowed up Jonah.
Yes, the fish of Jonah.
So the two are very similar. There's kind of like a parallel there. So even that idea of being in the stomach is kind of the same sort of thing. You're protected from the water. You're passing through and yet protected from the water.
Yes, and I found someone writing a comment. He said that it's originally the Sea of Reeds, Yam Suf.
Yeah.
But there is a problem. The word in ancient Egyptian, it's Tufi, not Suf. Yeah. Tufi is the one which is reeds, and Suf, it does not mean reeds. This is just another like twisting. They say, well, Tufi became Suf. No, Suf is a Hebrew word, and it always means the end. So going, the borders of Egypt has always been known to end at the Red Sea at Aqaba, or
Yeah.
Aqaba as we say in Arabic, and this is what they call the Sea of Mecca. So the Yam Suf means the sea of the end, which is this place of Aqaba in the Red Sea,
Well,
which is called the Sea of Mecca. In all these ancient, and these are Latin sources. So why would a
how,
Latin source know something like this unless it was really important?
well,
And
this
what I
is,
have found also, yes, this is the last thing,
sorry.
is that it was called Arabia Deserta for like almost till the 18th century. Still deserta, deserta, deserta.
Yeah.
Still no one is there for all these years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You see?
Do you think it was called the Sea of Mecca prior to the 7th century? In other words, could it have been called it long before there was a town there or some
I
sort
did
of
not
town?
find evidence like this. I didn't
Okay.
find evidence like this. But this
Yeah.
sea used to be called also in the most ancient forms. In Greek, it was called Sea Arabicus or the Arab Sea.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
know now that the word Arab means the West. So the Western Sea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Well,
the Sea
that's,
of the Arabs and it's the Sea of Mecca.
yeah. 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 It's fascinating. It's it's so close and yet so far. It makes a lot of sense, but I suppose that it's a chicken and egg one now. Did it become known the Sea of Mecca because Mecca was established and they called it after Mecca, or was it called the Sea of Mecca because of the story of Moses, and then the place name got established as a result of that? That's the big question.
Also, I found that in Ethiopia, very low, there
Yeah,
was a people called Makurabis. And maybe these are the people of Makuraba that the Muslims are very desperate to prove as Mecca.
yeah, yeah.
But what's interesting is that this is the first time that you know that there is a sea called Sea of Mecca, and it was the Red Sea. This
That's amazing.
itself can progress the research, you know.
Absolutely, it's such an amazing correspondence because who would have who would have who would have put the word Mecca and the sea together like that? But it literally was one of those eureka moments. Just if you know when I saw this a few days ago, and don't ask me, it was so spooky. It's sometimes people will say, "Well, how did you come up with this?" And I literally don't know how I came up with this. Why I picked a particular random verse in Exodus just as a starting point. It was literally I was looking at the word for strike, and then there was the word plague, and then I just started looking into the meaning of those, and lo and behold, by pure coincidence, both words had a connection with the word Makkah, and this led into this moment where I just said, "Oh no, couldn't be." You know,
And
it's just amazing.
also when if you read it in Arabic, ببطن مكة, no one in his right mind anywhere, anytime says, well, I am going to the belly of Damascus or something like this.
Yeah,
The wording is very weird. It will only work with your explanation
yeah,
that
yeah,
it
yeah,
was something that's religious and it has to do with Moses crossing
yeah,
the Red Sea or the Sea of Mecca as we see now.
yeah. This is amazing. I think could we say that we are the first to come up with this? Has anyone ever suggested this before?
No, no, never. And
Wow.
even when I looked at these maps, people did not look at it to say Mecca or anything like this. They
Yeah,
are looking at it to see where the Israelites crossed. But
yeah,
it caught my eye right away, and I remembered it from a year ago, but
wow.
I didn't know what to do with it. So when you made these connections, I said we must go live now and show the people
Yeah,
that that at some point the Red Sea was used to be called the Sea of Mecca, meaning the sea that had this very low ground and it had maybe a miracle, or
yeah.
maybe they understood it this way.
Well,
So
you
very
do.
important.
So you know what this means, obviously. This means that if this passage is another one of those passages that came from the Aramaic background, the Christian or Jewish background. It once again just shows that there's no connection between the Quran and this town called Mecca. So
Yeah.
this is like absolute destruction for Islam.
And remember, the Quran is obsessed with Moses and the Israelites.
Absolutely.
So now it makes sense that again he is referencing here to Moses and the Israelites and the plagues and everything related to the children of Israel. So no problem.
Isn't it amazing though that in those early centuries somehow the meaning got lost and people start to misappropriate the word Makkah and make it to mean this town, And this might explain the location of why they picked Mecca where it was, because it literally is right.
Well, Mecca in Saudi Arabia is very low ground. So even these late people that chose Saudi Arabia, these people who knew nothing, they still knew that Mecca meaning low ground. Because Al-Taif is much higher in ground.
Yes.
So it means in the belly of Mecca it would be something like in the hollow of the very low ground. And the two sides of the sea are on your sides.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the map as well, you notice that Mecca, if you go the length of the Red Sea, Mecca is located about halfway down the length, just inland from the coast. So in terms of, if you were to pick a random place, first of all, you look at the map. If you were to say, right, we're going to pick a location for this Mecca, halfway down the Red Sea, and then inland, find a spot that's low ground, and there you have it.
Exactly.
That pretty much is all you need.
And when I saw your post before we talk, I said, yes, Mel is thinking correctly. He just needs this map with the Sea of Mecca in it from the medieval times, from a Latin source.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So it changes everything.
This is like incredible. It's just, what are the chances of this? It's just a complete fluke. I can't even say this is an act of genius on my part, but this is complete fluke how we discovered this,
This is the gift of the ending. Maybe this is the Christmas gift.
Yeah. Happy Christmas to you all.
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
So, this is my little parting gift for you all for Christmas Day. It's fabulous stuff. I think we'll stop it there. You have a video coming up this evening, I believe.
Yes, it will be coming up after 45 minutes exactly on my new channel. So watch it there and subscribe. Yeah. And I will give the people what the title is.
Yeah.
It's 3 reasons why Islam never started in Mecca. And it's funny that, again, it is about Mecca.
Exactly.
But these 3 reasons, no one said them all before. So don't say, well, Jay Smith and Al-Fadi, they talked a lot about it. No, I still bring new stuff that you didn't know, so you have to watch it.
That's it. I'm going to be there in a few minutes to have a look at that.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Murad. We'll stop it there. I'm going to continue working away here this evening. I'm going to be looking at the Zamzam, so expect a video out on the Zamzam in the next few days. So thanks everyone for watching, and talk to you all very soon.
Yes, Mel, I will just ask the people if they find more maps with the Sea of Mecca, please tell us and put it down in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, I see there's a few different comments there, but I suppose before we go, I don't know that the map proves much. Sea of the Muslim Holy Pilgrimage Center also makes sense.
Yeah, but the Latin, they will not name it this way.
Yeah. They could easily have just called it the Red Sea, couldn't they?
They will name it the names that they have always known. The Sea of the Arabs, Arabicus, or something like Rouge, Red Sea. It has always been this. But that you deliberately call it Sea of Mecca, it's very weird.
It is indeed. So I see Fee Santi says, can Mel draw a circle where the Sea of Mecca is supposed to be? Very difficult to read at the moment. It's the whole of the Red Sea. It's the whole of the Red Sea was called on the map the Sea of Mecca.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Thanks a lot, everyone, for showing up. I hope you found that a bomb. And talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.